Hello and welcome to week 2 of BA2580 Microeconomics. Remember that the contact information is down here with the name, the email address, and the phone number. We also have office hours on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. These are not required, but it is time that is laid out for you if you'd like to go to them at that time. It is in a question and answer format, so be ready to ask some questions if you go to the office hours. It is a different number than this number up here, so remember if you're going to the office hours to use this number, this call-in code. If you got any questions that we need to go over and take a look at, screen share type of activity through something like Excel or something like that, we can then join the discussion room here and we can share screens and see that type of information. If you'd like to do that amongst yourselves and talk to other students and share the screen and go over some of the problems, you could contact each other in the participants up here and exchange contact information, and then use software like Skype or like join.me are two types of software that are good, and you can look into others that would give that kind of screen share ability in order to have some meeting rooms if you so choose. So let's take a look at the current week that we are in, which of course will be week 2. So we are in week 2. The layout will be similar to the prior week as well as other classes, being that we generally have the objectives up top, the topics, then the lessons. On the lessons, we have the chapters that will be covered. So the chapters that you would want to read at this point would be Chapter 6, Chapter 11, Chapter 19, Chapter 22. We are jumping around a bit on that. We do have some instructional videos here that are in an embedded format, so you can open these up and they should open right inside of Moodle Rooms. If you want to then jump somewhere else, then you could go jump to the YouTube channel and that'll take you to a different channel as well, and that'll take you to another pop-up here. So if you want to go back and forth from Moodle Rooms, you could do that, so you have two tabs in that case. So I'm going to go back here, we're going to go back to the cookie trail up top and scroll down to the current week that we are in. So we have those lecture videos, then we got the information that we want to complete as of the end of the week, starting with the discussions down through discussions, assignment, homework, quizzes. And if we approach this the way I would approach this class as well as every class would be that we want to get 100% of the discussion forum posts, which are 21% of the grade. So you want to get 100% of the 21% if at all possible. You have the most control over those. Then you want to get as most of the credit as you can on the assignments and the homework. I think that's very doable in this class to pick up pretty much all those points. Then go into the quiz and the midterm and the final with as big a point cushion total as possible. That's how I would approach this class and approach all basic classes as well. So how can we do that? If we take a look at the discussion forums here, we need to get at least 4 posts by the end of the week. Most students are going to need more than 4 posts. Remember that posts accumulate upward. So unlike another grade, we don't just take the post and then grade it. You get a static grade on it. The post will actually accumulate upwards until you achieve full credit. Full credit can be achieved within a minimum of 4 posts. However, if any posts are less than great or less than perfect for full credit, then it'll take more posts to get there. Remember that you want to add content to the conversation in a post, and if you copy anything from Google or anything like that, make sure to reference it so they're not plagiarizing, and in order to get full credit on it, I would then paraphrase it or comment on the quote in your own words after that point. I'm obviously going to add a lot more questions in there, and the point of the more questions is to make sure that we have enough information to get the minimum of 4 posts and make sure everybody gets full credit on those, as well as to cover a lot of the material. As we move on to the rest of the assignments, I just want to remind you that we do want to check everything off in Moodle Rooms rather than going straight to Connect, even though most of the work is in Connect. For example, the discussion forum not in Connect up here. It is in Moodle Rooms, and you want to check it off here. Most of the other work will be in Connect listed out. However, this is really where you want to check everything off because this is where everything is listed out. So going down through here, we've got the assignments. Then these will be in Connect, so we're going to go up to Connect. And if you take a look at week 2, you will then have these assignments here that you can then go in the Learn Smart format. Make sure to complete the assignments. Note that you can go back into assignments after you complete the Learn Smarts in order to practice for the quiz. You don't have to do that, and you want to be aware of that, because if you go back into it after you've completed them, you might think that you have more questions to do. And just be aware as to whether you've completed it and you're going back in for practice, or whether you're going back in and you have not completed it. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. We're going to go back to Moodle Rooms up top. Then you want to check all these off in Moodle Rooms, and you're going to go to the homework, which is going to be the video case review. So that's going to be also in Connect up here. So here's that assignment. So you want to complete that one or that homework and check it off in Moodle Rooms. Then we have the quiz. Quiz is going to be down here. It is actually in Moodle Rooms, and you want to make sure to do the quiz. We can't generally make up quizzes. It's due by Sunday, so make sure to pick it up by Sunday. It is multiple choice questions, so you want to get anything is better than a 0, even if you do not feel prepared for it. Some of the other work, we can have some more leeway in terms of turning in some late work on it. Therefore, make sure to get the quiz in by Sunday for sure. I'm going to go back up to the gradebook up here on the left-hand side. Now, as of the end of week 1, I have until the Tuesday following the end of week 1, which ends on Sunday, to populate the grades. You've been basically going through there and checking off everything that you need to do in week 1. You have a visualization of exactly what the gradebook should look like. And then by the end of Tuesday, you want to go back into Moodle Rooms and see that week 1 has been populated in the way that you have visualized it should be based on tracking your work. So for example, of course, the week 1 discussion then will go from a dash to 100% because you made sure to get 100% on those as suggested. Then the week 1 assignments, these will be then populated, as well as the quiz should be populated already because it's in Moodle Rooms, and then the homework will then be populated as we go as well. Now note that if you miss something or if you got less than full credit, you may consider going back in there and seeing if you could pick up late work on it. For example, if this dash was not done, it will then turn into a 0, and this whole category will then be a 0, which is a little bit misleading because obviously this category I think is 13% of the grade, but it will be diluted once we do the rest of them. So if we got a 0 on the first one, then that whole category would be 13%, and that would be affecting the total down here. But then of course, if you did 2 of them, it would be the average of the 2 affecting that 13%. So when we look at the first week, we don't have a lot of data in there. This gradebook can be a little deceiving. When you do the late work, if you pick up late work, you're going to do it in week 2, and then I'm going to grade all of week 2 as well as late work again following the end of week 2. So week 2 is going to end on Sunday. I then have until Tuesday to pick up the grades and put them all into the gradebook, and as well as late work at that time. So the late work will not generally always at least populate as soon as you complete it in the gradebook. You can email me and let me know. That's a good practice to do, but it will typically be picked up in the next grading cycle, if not before, which will be Tuesday, by the end of Tuesday following the close of the week. So that's going to be it for week 2, so have a good week 2.